July 4th, 1989. Dear Will, we went to the 4th of July carnival tonight, and you seem to be having a good time. Max and Lucas were off somewhere, making out behind the dart station or some shit, and you, Dustin, and Elle had gone to get snacks while I held our place in line for the Ferris wheel. I watched Dustin say something that caused both you and Elle to laugh, and it was like my eyes were glued to you. I couldn't look away, and even if I could look away, I didn't want to, because you are gorgeous when you laugh. The sound of one of your uncontrollable, naturally loud laughs in combination with the crinkle in your eyes and your unfairly contagious smile make me love you even more than I could ever begin to fathom. I love seeing you so happy. So to preface this next part, I'm gonna admit that your brother scares the hell out of me. He's had it out for me since you gave me the painting in the van. I think it's because he knew Elle had nothing to do with the artistic process and that I was oblivious to the subtext of your speech. But, it's been 3 years at this point, and yet he's still trying to murder me with his glare. As I was watching you, I felt a shoulder nudge my upper arm, and I looked down to see Jonathan giving me that same look he'd given me through the rearview mirror in the van. "So, Mike, how's your night going?" he asked me, and I felt like I'd committed a fucking crime or something, judging by the inflections of his voice. "It's going well," I said. "How about you?" Jonathan shook his head. "This isn't about me. This is about you and the way you keep staring at Will." I was so confused. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Is it because he's gay?" He shot back at me. "Yeah, he went there." Wait, what?" I sputtered out in shock. "How the hell could you think? You haven't taken your eyes off him once. Are you freaked out by him or something?" He could not have been more wrong. "Hold up, if you're homophobic, just admit it." What? "But I'll tell you right now," Jonathan said as he leaned further in with a hushed voice. "Bigotry doesn't look good on you." I'd had enough. "Jonathan, will you let me fucking talk? Jesus Christ." John took a step back. I got a little fired up," he admitted. I narrowed my eyes. "Yeah, no shit," he apologized. "It's fine," I dismissed him. "But John, that's not at all how I feel. And I find it kind of hurtful that you think that of me. Because I love him." "Yes, you read that right. You didn't actually, but I'll chalk it up to technicalities. I told your brother that I love you, but I instantly regretted it because the look on his face was suddenly turning soft and understanding, and I couldn't handle the thought of having to come out to your brother before you. So I resorted to self-preservation. No matter what, I love him," I said in an attempt to cover my own ass with platonicity. "He'll always be my friend." Jonathan seemed to take a few seconds to process and backtrack. It kind of looked like he pitied me for a minute. "Okay," he eventually told me, nodding. "I'm choosing to believe you. But if you hurt him again, I swear to God, Wheeler." "Murder," I replied. "Got it." "Good," he said. And with that, he was off to join Nancy at the chili stand, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I hadn't realized my staring was that obvious. I mean, it's not news that you happen to be my favorite person on the planet or that you're my best friend. I think it's pretty normal for me to appreciate being in my best friend's company and to enjoy looking at him. It's a whole other thing entirely when it comes to the implications my staring could make with my sexuality brought into the equation. Essentially, I don't want my own facial expressions to out me. "Got the last candy apple," I heard you say. And it was only then that I noticed that you'd meandered your way back to me while Elle and Dustin were sharing a funnel cake as they stood a few feet away. I looked down and chuckled when I saw you grinning back up at me with red-stained teeth from the coating on the apple. "I see that," I replied. You held the apple up to me, and I raised an eyebrow. "Want a bite?" you asked me, and I felt myself blush. This was so romantic. I know you didn't mean it like that, but damn, sparks were flying in my head. My inner immature middle schooler was chanting, "Indirect kiss, indirect kiss, indirect kiss," but I ignored the little shit's voice and focused on the apple being held up to my face, trying to figure out how to even bite the apple. "I promise it isn't poisonous," you reassured me. "Even if it were, I'd just need a true love's kiss for the spell to be broken, right?" I teased, and watched your eyes go wide before taking your hand, which was holding the apple stick, into mine and taking a chomp out of the apple. I pulled back as I chewed and licked my lips for added effect. You didn't move your hand at all, or try to pull away from me or anything. You just stood and watched. "Right," you breathed. "You would." And just as I was going to make my first official move on you, one that could signal, hey, Will, I'm interested in you like that, as in romantically and sexually and everything in between, because you're the love of my life, and I don't think I'll ever recover if you don't feel the same, but please don't be scared away by what I'm saying right now, because I just thought you should know. Elle and Dustin joined us back in the line, cutting our conversation short and shifting the topic to Dustin's fear of heights and how he was facing his fear of the Ferris wheel for Elle's sake. I think they'd be kind of cute together, don't you think? I can see it. Or maybe it's my rose-colored lenses talking. But regardless, I'm going to try and be a bit more open with my flirting from now on. Just to see something. Love, Mike.